It was a cold February evening in 1978. A green car rolled up outside Brasserie Joey, a dimly lit biker hangout in Montreal's Little Italy. Inside, Outlaws heckled Hells Angels members, conversation turning tense. Then the passenger door opened and a man stepped out. He didn't have tattoos or the usual biker look, just a Colt 45 pistol in his gloved hand. He walked calmly, like he'd done it before. 3 shots rang out, one after the other. The first hit behind the ear, the second in the neck, and the last one finished the job. Drinks froze midair. The whole bar went silent as the man disappeared into the snowy street. The bikers knew they had seen something deadly. This was Yves Trudeau, also known as Apache, a quiet man who would go on to kill 43 people and change the course of Canada's biker wars. This is the true story of Canada's most feared hitman. From factory to the underworld, Yves Trudeau was born in 1946 in a poor part of Montreal. As a teenager, he worked at Canadian Industries Limited, handling explosives that would later define his terrifying signature. It was there he gained an unsettling fascination with bomb making, a skill he would soon take to the streets. At 22, he joined the Popeyes Motorcycle Club, Montreal's inaugural chapter for the Hells Angels. Standing just 5'6" inches and weighing 135 pounds, Trudeau was unassuming. His neatly trimmed hair and quiet demeanor masked the darkness beneath. No loud threats, no bravado, he let his weapons speak. By 1974, Trudeau had proven his loyalty not through pistols and bars, but through meticulously planned acts of mayhem. Car bombs set outside rival clubhouses and vehicles rigged with deadly intent. It wasn't showmanship, it was surgical. He studied explosives manuals on lunch breaks, then applied that knowledge in the alleyways and parking lots of biker territories. While others brawled, Trudeau hunted. As the Popeyes transitioned into the first Canadian Hells Angels chapter, 1977, Trudeau's aptitude for silent violence made him asset one who would help shift biker culture from chaotic conflict to calculated destruction. First blood in the Red Zombie, 1974. Quebec's underworld had fractured into rival biker gangs, fighting over territory known ominously as the Red Zone. Violence erupted in Montreal suburbs and Laval, where chemical labs and drug distribution routes were king. The Popeyes found themselves acting as enforcers for Montreal's mafia, planting bombs to neutralize competition. It was during these tense days that Trudeau earned his first taste of real blood. In February 1978, Trudeau orchestrated the hit that would become his legend. That night, he followed outlaw Robert Keat to Brasserie Joey, parking his green sedan just outside. Trudeau moved swiftly, stepping from the driver's seat and entering the bar with silent intent. He reached Keat moments before the hit, and without hesitation, he pulled the Colt .45, firing execution style into the back of Keat's skull. Padrons scattered, glasses shattered, but Trudeau vanished into the night. That single shot ignited a full-scale war between the Hells Angels and the Outlaws in Montreal. Trudeau became the Angels' deadliest weapon, earning cold nicknames: Apache for his skill as a warrior and tracker, and the Mad Bomber for his flair with explosives. Over the coming years, he would haul rival bikers into alleys, plant bombs in cars, and orchestrate silent assassinations with no concern for collateral casualties. His reputation spread, quiet kills. Bared logic, anger was impulsive, precision was power. Trudeau was building a legend and bodies were counting towards it. Master of mayhem, Trudeau's methods were as precise as they were brutal. Between 1978 and 1983, he claimed responsibility for 43 confirmed murders, 29 by gun, 10 by bomb, 3 by beating, and 1 strangulation. His targets included rivals within the Hells Angels, fellow gang members, and anyone threatening his turf. One notorious case involved Charlie Hodges, a fellow Angel whose betrayal nearly sparked another chapter's split. Trudeau slipped into the back seat and shot him. Then, there was the bomb-laced Holly incident. Donald McLean, his girlfriend Carmen pitch-riding pillion, fell victim to a device Trudeau had wired directly into the clutch lever. They were torn apart on a dark street, his signature trapped explosive style demanding attention. Rumor has it Trudeau even killed a grandmother who tried intervening during a turf battle. The narrative of disciplined violence grew into myth. He didn't just kill enemies, he terrorized potential threats with the theatrical flair. Explosives hidden in cars, long-range rifle shots. Trudeau diversified his toolkit. He lived by a deadly chess game: anticipate, eliminate, vanish. Amid the carnage, Trudeau remained calm, never flashy, never boastful. He studied his enemies' routines, mapped out their routes, analyzed their weaknesses. He left no fingerprints, no regrets. Quebec's black market echo chamber amplified the stories. The quiet man with the bomb, the assassin with the cold aim. Each death cemented his power, each explosion made the Angels untouchable. Quebec's bikers whispered his name in dread. Violence measured, methodical, unstoppable, power, paranoia, and Apache politics. By 1979, Trudeau had become more than a hired gun. He was now central to the biker power games shaping Montreal. That January, the Hells Angels split their Montreal chapter. Trudeau chose to align with the more aggressive Laval-based North chapter, a faction known for its recklessness and violent streak. This wasn't just a club decision, it was a survival move. Patch politics were dangerous. Loyalty shifts could mean death as tensions mounted between the North and South chapters. Trudeau's paranoia grew. He watched friends vanish. Threats came masked as handshakes behind closed doors. Whispers of betrayal echoed louder than roaring hollies. The final blow came in March 1984, when 5 members of the North chapter were summoned to a meeting at the Lennoxville clubhouse. They never walked out, shot and dumped in the St. Lawrence River. It was a purge disguised as brotherhood. Trudeau survived by chance. He'd checked into drug rehab that same week. That massacre confirmed what Trudeau had long suspected. No one was safe, not even full-patch killers. For years, he had built his name as the executioner. Now, he saw the blade turn inward, haunted by the ghosts of men he once trusted and chased by whispers of his own downfall. Trudeau made a fateful decision, one unthinkable to any outlaw. Disillusioned with biker life, tired of looking over his shoulder, and surrounded by a body count he could no longer justify, he prepared to flip. The Mad Bomber would soon become the government's most lethal secret weapon, from assassin to crown. Witnessing July 30th, 1985, Trudeau was arrested with a small arsenal in his trunk: guns, ammo, and pipe bombs. For any other biker, it would have been just another charge, but Trudeau knew his time was up. In a quiet interrogation room, he stunned Canadian law enforcement. He offered to talk. Not about one murder, not 10, but 43. Trudeau struck a controversial plea deal, guilty to 43 counts of manslaughter in exchange for a 12-year sentence, protection in prison, and new identity rights. He became the first full-patch Hells Angel in Canada to turn Crown witness. His cooperation stunned the underworld and shattered what remained of the Hells Angels Montreal structure. Over the next year, Trudeau helped solve over 90 crimes, linking bikers to a web of murders, drug trafficking, and internal hits. His courtroom testimony triggered a cascade of arrests, convictions, and federal takedowns. Police had mixed opinions. Some saw him as vital, others called him unreliable, egotistical, erratic. But one thing was clear: his knowledge was surgical. When asked if he felt guilt, Trudeau answered coldly, "You can't kill that many people and feel nothing. But you learn not to think too much." The man who once detonated bombs with pride now sat in witness boxes, dismantling the empire he helped build. For a world that thrives on loyalty, his betrayal wasn't just a turning point, it was treason. The final downfall in 1994. After serving just 7 years, Trudeau walked out of prison under the name Dennis Keat. He wore glasses, spoke softly, and took a job as a school bus driver carrying children, despite having killed dozens. The public was outraged. Politicians demanded answers. But legally, he'd served his time. For a while, he lived in the shadows, odd jobs, modest apartments, always one step ahead of recognition. But the past has a way of bleeding into the present. In March 2004, Trudeau was arrested again this time for sexually assaulting a minor. No bombs, no gang wars, just a fallen killer clinging to a double life. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, his final curtain drawn not by bullets, but by disgrace. Trudeau had become a man without a tribe, a killer without a cause. Diagnosed with bone marrow cancer, he was quietly released on compassionate grounds in 2008. Later that year, he died in anonymity at the age of 60 to no tributes, no tattoos, no eulogies, just a whisper of a legacy soaked in blood and betrayal. Legacy of blood and lessons. Yves Trudeau's legacy is not measured in years, but in bodies. 43 confirmed kills, and likely more never documented. He served less than a decade for crimes that rewrote Canada's criminal history. His story became a flashpoint for public debate. How could justice allow this? Journalists like Julian Scher and William Fitterman have argued that Trudeau's criminal arc laid the blueprint for successors like Moore's mom Boucher, a generation of bikers who grew even more violent, organized, and politically immune. Trudeau's betrayal of the Hells Angels exposed fractures in a system that once saw biker-on-biker violence as a self-cleaning problem. His insider knowledge gave police victories, but at what moral cost? Even as an informant, Trudeau played by his own rules. He withheld names, he twisted facts, he kept secrets. His cooperation wasn't a confession, it was strategy. Today, his name remains cursed in biker circles, not for his kills, but for his betrayal. No monument stands for the man called Canada's most feared hitman. Only prison records, court transcripts, and a generation of trauma sealed behind clubhouses and courtrooms. He left behind no heroes, just cautionary tales and echoes in the underworld. If you found this deep dive into Canada's darkest underworld figures compelling, consider subscribing for more real-life crime stories, biker wars, and betrayal-fueled collapses. New documentaries every week, each more brutal, raw, and unforgettable than the last.